Hi, and thanks for watching my videos. Shoe mods with Steve Petrarca. Today I'm going to talk about machinery that I use to do my shoe modifications. I'm going to start off with some of the handheld stuff. One of the most important things I use is a heat gun. Works very good for manipulating materials. I also use a Dremel tool, also very handy. Last handheld that I can think of is my drill. I also have a paddle bit. It's about 3/4 inch. I do trim the tip off so I don't go through the shoe, but I use this to lighten the shoe modification when I'm done. So that's my handhelds, and we're going to take a step over to my other machinery, and I'll show you what I'll be using. This is my finisher or sanding machine, and it has multiple different areas that I use to grind the shoe modification. Right here is a trimming knife. It's an adjustable trimming knife, so I can go from anywhere from 1/8 of an inch all the way up to almost 3/4 of an inch. I have a 80 grit sandpaper on the smaller wheel. This is 24 grit on the larger wheel. There's something called a heel brister on this side. It helps me get into tight places. This is a numb keg, and that's about, I'm going to say 80 to 100 grit. And that's nice to get into some areas where you can't get into with these wheels. The brushes are obviously to finish up the job. Something else I use is a heat lamp. I use this heat lamp every day. Has a timer on it, so I'm not going to burn something, or sometimes I do, but I'm not going to. Generally, with the timer, I'm safe. So the heat lamp I use every day is to warm up that finished sole, so that I can pry it off to stop putting my shoe modification on the shoe. This is a multi stretcher. It stretches width, length, also the instep. Very handy. I also have wooden stretchers. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with these, and they come in different sizes. I got multiple sizes. I got them for shoes. I've got them for boots, and very, very helpful when you're doing shoe mods. This little gem right here, this is called a 5-in-1. It cuts. You can measure with it. It skives. This is a welt press. I don't use that much anymore. Very, very handy tool. Very old tool. I don't think they've ever improved on the design of this since day one. I have one more machine I want to show you, but we're going to go over to look at it. All right. This is Old Blue. It's my bandsaw. I call her Old Blue because she's old, like me. And still works great. Made back by Sears and Roebuck, if that'll give you an idea how old she is. But I use this pretty often for cutting materials and when I'm trimming materials on the orthotics before I go to the grinder. But handy tool if you can get a hold of one, excellent. I do want to mention that the machinery I've accumulated over the past 30-something years I've been in business. You don't have to buy anything this big. First of all, you can find used machinery on the internet. They have bench grinders, a lot smaller, still efficient. They have machinery and that you can get, like I said, on the internet. Shop around. You'll be able to find something very reasonable. Bandsaws included, very reasonable. You don't have to have a floor model. You can have a bench model. When you grind, make sure the grinder you get hopefully has some type of exhaust system to suck away those grindings that you're doing, because you don't want to breathe this stuff in. I have a big blower system on my grinder, and I do use a mask when I am grinding. That helps because you just don't want to be breathing the stuff in every day. So that's the basic machinery that I use to do my shoe modifications. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.